Today is the day you have all been waiting for. Today we finally code Dream's Minecraft plugins. We will be starting with Dream's most popular series, Minecraft Manhunt. This plugin combines everything we've talked about in the 3 previous videos, so make sure you watch those first. Make sure to subscribe with notifications on because I'm going to be uploading even more plugin tutorials in the future. And if you want to try out the plugin without the hassle of actually coding it yourself, check out my Patreon, link in the description. Anyways, let's start coding. So as you can see, I've set up our blank templates for our main file, our command, and our listeners, and our plugin, YML. If you don't have any clue what this is, then I recommend going back and watching the 3 prior videos to this in the series, and those will get you where you need to be to follow along with this. So, starting from our main file, we have imported our spigot, and we have created our folder that's going to hold our main file, and now we have our main file. And I already have our references to our command and 2 listeners in here. But for this one, we're going to be doing something that we haven't actually done before, and we're going to be making a global variable that we're going to use throughout. So we're going to do public string hunted, and this is just going to be empty quotation marks for now, and we're going to be using this to hold the name of the person that is hunted. And so now the main file is completely done. Now we're on to our command. So we're going to use this to actually start the game. And basically all this is going to be doing is selecting the hunted person. So the name of our command will be manhunt. And then we're also doing something new with this too. So you know how when you have a command like time set day, you have multiple words within that separated by spaces. So we're going to do something similar to that. So this is not actually code, but something that we could do is like that. So this command would set me, Blackjack, as the hunted. To do this, we can actually look at this for some hints. So this is the person that sends it. We've already gone over this. This is the actual command. Then if we go all the way to the end, we can see this args. And this is a list of strings, or a string array, and we can use this to get this value. So in this args array, this value is the first value, or the 0th value in coding lingo. So by starting the game, all we really have to do is do this dot plugin dot hunted, which is the variable that we just made in here, equals args 0. And that's it. So this sets the person that we're going to be hunting as me, if we were using the previous example. And that is all we need to do for this command to start the game. Now we're on to the listeners. Our first listener is actually maybe something that we should be doing after, but we can do it right now since it's simple. This is going to be running whenever somebody respawns. The hunters track the hunted person with a compass, and if they die, they don't have a compass anymore, so we need to give them a compass when they respawn. The event has a attribute player, get player, so now we can get our player that has experienced this respawn event, and we're just going to name them P for now, and import player, as we have done many times before. And now we are going to do p.getInventory.add item. And we're going to do a new item stack, and then material.compass. And there should be a space there. And we're going to import the item stack from our bucket, not Minecraft.net, from bucket. And so now, whenever somebody respawns, they will be given a compass. So that's pretty easy. That's all we had to do for this one too. So now we're done with our main file, our hunter command file, and the respawn listener. So now we're just going to compass listener. So now we're on the compass listener, and this is the actual kind of meat and potatoes of this plugin. So we're going to be using the player interact event, which I think we used in the other listener video when we were talking about right-clicking on sticks. But just for a little review, we can look up player interact event and we can see all the different things that we can look up. This will run anytime that we right or left click. So what we're going to do is look at this action. So we can click on action, and that will take us and we can see all the different actions. So there are 3 things that have to happen. The player has to be holding a compass, and the player has to either right click on air or a block. We can go back here, and with our event again we can get our player. So now we want to get the item that's actually used, and with this player interact event it actually stores the item that was used. So we can do material, let's say held, so we know that it's being held, equals event dot get item. And there it is, and this returns an item stack. So to turn an item stack into a material, we're going to do another method called get type on that, and that returns a material. And we have to import material. So now we have our player, our material, and we need the action. And again we just do event.get action. So when we import this, we're going to scroll down again and we're here in event block. Okay, so now we need to do an if statement. And again we're going to be checking to see that they're holding a compass and that the action is either right click on air or right click on a block. So we do if held equals material dot compass, and if you don't know much about coding, then I would just kind of follow this, but basically an and means that both have to be right for it to be true. So we need an and then we need an or within here. So if held item equals compass and act equals action dot right click air, or act equals action dot right click block. So now if we have a compass in our hand and we right click, it will do something within this block. So what do we want to actually have it do? Well, we have our material and we have our player. So we want to be able to set the compass location to the hunted player. If we look up compass in this, we can see that there is a method called set compass target, and we can use that. So all we have to do is do p.set compass target, and then we need a location to set it to. And in order to do this, we have to get the location of the person that is being hunted. The easiest way to do this would be to do p.get server. So this just gets the server, and then we do get player, and then we have our this.plugin.hunted. So now what this is doing is we're using the player that clicked on the compass to get the server, and then use the server to find this player, the hunted player. So now we have the hunted player here, and then all we have to do from here is do hunted.get location. Let's just go through this one more time. We get our player from the event, we get the material that they're holding in their hand from the event, and we also get the action that they did from the event. We want to make sure that the player is holding a compass, and also make sure that they're right clicking. So we check that their material is a compass and that their action is either right clicking on air or right clicking on the block. And then within there, we get the hunted player, by doing p.getServer, get player, and then using our global variable for the hunted. And then we use our hunted player to get their location, and then we set the compass target of the original player to the hunted player's location. And if we want to be extra tedious, I guess, we can have it so that the hunted player cannot use this to track. And actually, let's do p.send message. You are tracking this .plugin .hunted. So now whenever you right click, it should say you are tracking the hunted player. And if we want to make it so that the hunted player cannot track themselves, at the beginning we can add an and we can do p.getName equals this .plugin .hunted. And then after that we also have to do a exclamation point. So this got a little bit technical, but again we can go through it. So if we just look within the parentheses, we can say we get the name of the player that right clicks on their compass. We want to check if that is equal to the player that's being hunted. If it is equal, then this would return true, which we don't want it to. We want it to return false. So we take the opposite, which is what that does. So basically, let's say that I'm not the hunted player and I right click on a compass. Then it will get my name. It checks if my name is equal to the hunted, which it won't be, so it will return false. And then that false gets inverted by this to a true, and this continues searching. And then once that happens, it gets the hunted person's name, it sets the original player's compass target to that person, and then it sends that player, the original player, a message saying that they are successfully tracking this person. Now that is it for all the coding. We can look at our plugin YML. We only have one command, so we only have to do one command special thing. And that is it. Now we can export it, and I will try it out. I'll test everything out and show you how it works. Right, so we're in Minecraft, and I will try out what we've done. I made a few changes so I'd be able to test it on my own. Let's give it a try. So Manhunt, then I'm gonna put my own name in there. And so now I've been set to the manhunt. I made it so that when you run the command, it says who the hunted is. And now I will give myself a compass. I already had one. And we can see what happens. So it says I'm tracking, and you can see that the compass starts pointing towards me. The only thing that happens with this is that you need to update the compass every once in a while, because you can see that the compass is still pointing over there where I was, and now the compass is pointing here where I am now. Let's do this and just respawn at the way back spawn, and you can see I spawn with a compass. So all of our stuff is working, and we are back at spawn. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a comment down below which plugin you'd like to see done next, and I can do that in the future. And I will see you guys in the next one. Make sure to subscribe for that. See ya.